Here. So bring me up to date. Who are you working for? What are you doing?
Well, I've been with Ernst & Young about 13 years now. Presently serving as the global operations leader for global real estate. We have roughly 22 million square feet under lease globally, 750 locations in about 140 countries.
Let's go back a few years when you were involved, very involved with IFMA Atlanta. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, you know, it was a fantastic experience from getting onto the board. You look at a lot of people in the room here tonight. We had people like Kathy Roper, Harry Ludwig, myself, Cheryl Yetzko. Just a wonderful breadth of talent and a unique drive to really take IFMA Atlanta from one level to a national level. And the synergy of that team and the great things that flew from it. Just a perfect example is the community services effort that was headed by Harry locally. The drive towards recognition for the chapter, not by nature of just getting an award, but the journey that we were taking together and the lives that we were touching locally. There were just so many special memories that came from it. And a lot of it has to do with the leadership in this room. As we know, there's no individual efforts. It's all a team effort at this level of the game. But the touch points and the value that this chapter has added back into the Atlanta community are my fondest memories, and I'm playing them out tonight with the people that are in this room.
Take me back to when you were the president of this chapter. What year was that, and what do you remember most about when you were serving as president?
Well, it was 1999. That seems like a lifetime ago. But again, as I was mentioning earlier, I had just a wonderfully talented board. I think we made a commitment to not only implement a strategy for the chapter, but to live that strategy out and translate it to the members and to the community about what that really meant. And that led to a great many good things, ultimately to be recognized for our community services effort with the YWCA and our partnership with the United Way. And then ultimately onwards, because the depth of commitment of the board and the investments we made in the association management team led by Bob Thomas, by our professional commitment and development for the board, that we evolved into a wonderful, close-knit organization, people-centric, that ultimately led to our first recognition as Chapter of the Year at the international level, which flowed as a past president in the year 2000, which Joyce Repper led as president that year. Great, great memories.
Now, you were also involved in the IFMA chapter headquarters. Tell me a little bit about that experience.
I was tapped to be on the board in 2002. It was during a time of change, certainly on the backside of tragic events in 9/11. It was a down economy. It was a period of time where they needed to bring certain attributes to the board, largely strategic, and it was a time that associations were reinventing themselves. So I had the privilege of leading and implementing the Balanced Scorecard Initiative, which has now been fully implemented worldwide, and to lead an organization through a path of change that turned itself from being a strategy of being an organization that delivered services to being more of one that was knowledge-centric, that celebrated its people culture, and that focused on services to its members across industries and across cultures. We went from being an internationally focused company, or an organization rather, looking outward to the world, to truly being global, where we were looking and selecting markets of where we could have the greatest impact, and because of that we also created Global FM. So loads of things going on there, and I guess the greatest thing about that is to see something that is sustainable, a sustainable model at Global, a sustainable model here with the Atlanta chapter.
One last question. Of course, we're celebrating 30 years at IFMA Atlanta. What would you like to say to the chapter members tonight?
Well, I think that there are ebb and flows. you know, good people recognize good people. I think the investment in our future are all the young people entering into the profession. I think it's a great profession to be in. No matter how the workplace may change or the workscape in that workplace of the future, there will always be a need for connecting tissue in the office, both in your brand and the service that you provide to your people, and that's everything that FM is about. So, so long as you hold on to those core values and attract the very special people that we have a part of the chapter, I think not only will the chapter continue to thrive, but the profession as well.
All right, Matt Dawson, thank you very much. Tell me about what's going on in your life right now.
What's going on in my life? Probably the biggest thing that's going on in my life is 3.5 years ago. 3.5 years ago, I had a daughter, and so she's been taking up a lot of my time. So it's been really a pleasure raising her and seeing her grow and watching that smile on her face. It's really, made me happy and brought joy to our family. On the work side, I'm still at Turner Broadcasting, still overseeing facility operations around the country for Turner, and all I can say, things are great.
Okay. So how long have you been actually a member of the chapter?
I've been a member of IFMA for 11 years. When I first entered this profession back in June of 2011, I joined, and I can remember that very first IFMA World Workplace I attended. I was a facility manager for no more than about 4 months at that time after leaving the Navy, and I've enjoyed being a part of this great organization and knowing all the wonderful people here, and felt really welcome from day one when I joined the organization and became a member 11 years ago.
What is your most memorable event with IFMA Atlanta?
There have been so many. Of course, all the world workplaces have been memorable. All the events that we hold locally have been just superb, but probably the one that really stands out is the chapter allowed me to act as a speaker during a luncheon, and I gave a presentation about how Navy vessels, specifically aircraft carriers, are really facilities that are mobile and at sea. So that was probably the most memorable for me because I thought it was well received, and it's a good opportunity to really connect what we do as facility managers to what those outstanding young men and women are doing in our armed forces. So that was probably the most memorable event or activity that I've participated in.
I remember that presentation well. I was there. It was outstanding. All right, so here we are celebrating in the 30th anniversary IFMA Atlanta. What do you want to say to your fellow members tonight?
I would say that we've had 11 years with me being part of it, but I think 30 years of a organization that has grown, that has made a difference, and that continues to make a difference in the Atlanta community. And I would just say we need to keep that success going. We need to keep reaching for the sky. And the only thing that's going to limit us is the talent and our desire to make sure that we make a difference. Our push in sustainability, for me personally, is very important, and I'm glad to see that the chapter is taking a lead and being a leading organization in that area. But for the most part, there's so much talent, so much experience, and there's so much drive in this organization. I think it's going to be in good hands, and I look forward to seeing what it's going to accomplish in the future.
Terrific. Ed Brownlee, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Joe.
How are you doing tonight?
Thank you, Joe. It's a really nice evening.
Tell me about your most memorable time with the IFMA Atlanta chapter.
One of the most memorable things that we did when I was president in 2000 is that was the first year that the Atlanta chapter won Large Chapter of the Year. Coming on the heels of Matt Dawson trying it the year before, there was a wonderful foundation laid, so it was much easier for us to then submit the next year. And so we won it, and since then we won it 4 more times. So, and we'll hope to submit again next year. The other memorable thing that comes to memory for me is when I became president in 2000, I started asking the international organization why there were no associates president in the international organization, because there was so many associates who were devoting so much of their time. So I found out there was nothing against it, so I decided that when I was nominating committee chair the next year, that I would be the first person in IFMA to nominate an associate member as president. And we were successful in doing that, and Dave Flory with Court Furniture ended up being the first associate as president in the organization.
That is amazing. Okay, so tonight, the 30th anniversary, what do you want to say tonight to your fellow members?
Get active. If you're not active, join more than one committee. It's a way to build relationships. And when you're building relationships, not only do you build friendships, but you also find the people that you want to do business with, and that you know when you meet them through an organization like this, the integrity and the trust and the things that you're looking for in partners is there. So I would suggest that that's how associates and professionals use their time as members.
Fantastic. Joyce Roper, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So tell me, what are you up to?
Traveling the world, spreading the good news. I'm in other IFMA chapters in Orlando and Tennessee, up in Nashville and Tampa and Jacksonville, but nothing compares to coming back home to the Atlanta chapter.
What is your most funniest memory of something that you did that involved the IFMA Atlanta chapter?
Funny or embarrassing?
Both.
Wow. See, was it getting kicked out of the bar in Philadelphia? That was pretty bad. Getting kicked out of the bar, no, that was not good at all. Just a lot of great moments, and probably when we had the IFMA World Workplace here in Atlanta, that was a lot of fun. Walking around with a motorcycle helmet with giant horns on it, that was great. And people asking me about my helmet like it was not something I actually did every day anyway. So, but it was a lot of fun. We had a good time.
Now, I have a vague recollection, an event called Communicating with the Stars.
Yeah,
you played a special role in that event, didn't you?
I did, and I knew that's where you were going with us. I was trying to lead it in a different direction. Yeah, that's when I started my my transvestite career as Dolly Parton. And you got to admit, I was lovely. I was lovely.
Okay, it was great. Now, here we are, 30 years. What do you want to say to your fellow members tonight on the 30th anniversary of IFMA Atlanta?
Thanks for making a great home for facility management profession, people that service the facility management profession. It's been a great association of friends. It's been a great association of education. And I think everybody that's been a part of this organization feels like it's not just an organization of professionals, but a true family. And I come here, and it's my first time in a while, but I feel like I'm coming home. I'm seeing my family again.
All right, Monty Townsend, thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, well, I'm here with Steve Christopher, a Royal Cup of Coffee, a longtime IFMA member. Steve, what are some of your favorite memories of being involved with IFMA?
Of course, I'd have to say the golf tournament. A little prejudice there. 14 years now, we've been doing the golf tournament. And probably my fondest memory was playing golf with this fella.
Well, that's
because he usually plays tennis because he's not a really great golfer. And we're playing golf, and I think we're on the third hole at Lake Lanier, and he drives one into the trees. And I kind of shake my head thinking, this is going to be a long day. And the ball came bouncing out of the trees, down through the rough, rolled across the green, and into the cup. Tiger Woods or the good Lord or somebody was on his side that day.
That's accurate. That's actually how I remember it.
It's actually a true story. I mean, what can you say?
Cannot lie.
You did good. You did good.
That's the best of it. Now, any other, who would you say is probably your favorite past president?
It would probably be Harry Ludwig.
Harry Ludwig. Okay.
Sorry. That was a setup for Stewart. He missed it. That's okay. Harry, right. You're the fan.
Well, thanks, Steve. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. IFMA's been good to us. Thank you.
All right. I've got 3, count them, past presidents here. And, well, yeah, myself not included, but here you gentlemen had some IFMA memories to share, maybe specifically overseas.
Yeah, that's right. We all ended up in Paris at the same time for an IFMA conference. And I distinctly remember being in this beautiful cafe right across from the opera.
Yes, I do.
We all met there. That was a gosh.
We did. There were 9 of us that were there.
Yeah.
Sonia Tablata was with us. We had Ed Rondeau was there. Dr. Felix Ulick was there.
Wow, you got a great memory.
Of course, we were there as well. I don't know about that. There was a lot dragged. But the rewarding part for me about that was that we all invested a lot of time in IFMA, and I was able to combine that and bring my wife along. So she all of a sudden had an understanding of why IFMA was a good thing.
Fantastic, yes, yes. It means so much more when you get the trip to Paris.
Yes, right. Indeed.
So what are some of your maybe other memories from IFMA Atlanta and your time as president?
I remember, the conferences that we went to were always great. I definitely remember the year we won the first time, I believe, that we won the chapter of the year.
Yes.
It was that first time.
It was the first time. You were president, large chapter of the year.
Actually, Joyce was president.
Oh, that's right.
I was the vice president, but we were, it was in New Orleans.
We actually won chapter of the year on 2 occasions that I recall when we were all together. And Ken was involved certainly the first time around, and the second time around, well, first we finished in New Orleans, and we all ended up on stage with these masks and air guitars. No, they were sunglasses, the Ray-Bans.
Yeah.
Yes, the Ray-Bans and the air guitars, and we were dancing
Not
on
quite
stage.
like this, but sort of, you got the idea.
We went through.
We were air guitar.
Yes. And then there was a restriction. You could not win 2 years in a row. So the next year we had a good year, and Tom did an excellent job of putting together the, what do we call it? The presentation, the submittal. Yes, the submittal for chapter of the year. And then we actually won 2 years later again. Yes.
Yeah, Dallas.
Yes.
That's right.
Fantastic. Well, anything that you'd rather not get out about your presidency?
And you want us to talk about it now?
Secrets? don't pay attention to the camera.
Well, I think from what I've heard from people I've talked to around here tonight, that there needs to be a big injection of fun in IFMA. And I think our board definitely injected the fun in IFMA. It was, the evidence was for fun. We put the fun in IFMA. It was a great time.
It really was. All right. Thanks, guys. All right. I'm here with Kathy Roper. And Kathy, how long have you been an IFMA member?
I think it's about 23 years, something like that.
23 years, okay. So in a past president, and also now ascending the ladder of the international.
No, I'm descending.
You're descending.
Immediate past chair.
Okay, she's past chair of the international. So what are some of your favorite memories of being involved with IFMA?
Well, I think that in '97, when I was president, I owed a lot to Harry Ludwig, of course, being the chair the year before me. But we were very involved in bringing on a new association management system.
Yeah.
And I didn't get the opportunity to hire the current group, but we were in that process. So that was really exciting. And that's, what, 15 years later, and we're still going strong with association headquarters.
And what a big difference that has made.
Very much.
I think that's been instrumental. Any funny stories or amusing things that you think about through the years?
Oh, I don't want to embarrass anybody.
I have no problem with that. If you want to embarrass somebody, just get it on.
I don't remember any embarrassing stories.
What have been, you've been, I know, on a number of trips related to IFMA. What's a memorable trip you've been on?
Oh, probably this March. I attended a conference in Bangalore, India. About 200 facility management professionals there, coming together trying to learn more about facility management, and then travel on to Delhi and just seeing the excitement and the magnitude of people there in facility management. They are building 300 airports in India over the next few years, and they estimate there's probably about 25,000 facility management people who need education and credentials. So it's a huge opportunity for IFMA, and it's very exciting.
That is great.
Very different culture.
In your travels, has there been any place that you really would not care to go back to?
Oh, that's not fair. Probably India. Been there once, been there, done that. It's very exciting, but a lot of the stories that you hear are true. The cows are actually out on the medians eating the trash. So it's, as I say, very different culture.
Gotcha. I guess I would become vegetarian maybe in that culture.
That's why so many are, I'm sure.
Okay. Well, thanks so much.
Thank you. Congratulations. It's an awesome event.
I'm here with Karen Howard, who's our immediate past president. Karen, tell me maybe some interesting, you've been an IFMA member for how long?
Well, actually, I've been a member since before IFMA was chartered in Atlanta. So I've been a member for a long time. I'm probably the oldest member here, and that's just not me.
Years of service. Years of service.
Years of service.
Well, I'm sure you have a lot of memories. What's maybe some good memories you have about your time at IFMA?
I think the best thing I could just say about it, when I started with IFMA, it was all about what benefits the professional members, why the associations. At that stage, we were all associations. We would call people that wanted to support what IFMA was and what the professional members were doing. The more we could learn about what their issues were, the better we could help them. That was the goal. I think a lot of time we lose sight of that as associate members because we forget we don't know. And the reason, a lot of thunder. A lot of thunder. We don't know what that means. A lot of the reasons why IFMA has associate members is for financial help, assistance, and also for people to help professional members do what they need to do quickly and efficiently. It's very hard to get there. I feel really blessed that I've had my years with IFMA. I've had innumerable programs everywhere. It's helped me become a better member, helped me become a better associate, and helped me appreciate what my professional members in the organization are doing with caring and why their job is so hard.
That's great. That's great. And I think that's definitely a model.
Well, you would know better than most people. You've been a professional.
Right.
Moved into the associate position, which is most unusual. And to have people who've done that is a big benefit.
Most definitely. What was maybe the funnest, or what were some fun things that maybe from your presidency, or things that you felt rewarded?
From people that I've known for years that just know how to have a good time, they know how to get the job done, and they're so focused on what they know, what they need to know, and how to get there, and still have fun doing it. And it's fantastic. It's an example to me for people who, in sales, who are focused on what really matters, is get the job done, we can still have a good time. And, that's good. I mean, it's important because it is your life. You work a lot of hours. You're working 60, 65 hours a week. You can't have fun when you're doing it. You're missing something.
Most definitely. Most definitely. That's an example for everyone to follow. Have the fun. Well, thanks so much.
Thank you, Stuart.
Well, I'm here with Rachel Blankenship, and she is a past president of the chapter. Rachel, tell us about, when were you the chapter president?
I was actually the chapter president in 2005, 2006.
Okay, and what were maybe some of your fond memories at that time when you were president?
Well, I have several fond memories. There are lots of great accomplishments for the chapter, one of which was the year that I was president. I had the honor of, we were chosen as chapter of the year. So I can't remember, I think it was in San Diego. Got to go and receive the award for the chapter. That was very awesome. We also had a transformational time for the chapter. We moved from a calendar year to a fiscal year. So we're now, our new year starts in July. And that was part of Beth Chaplin and I strategizing and putting that together for the chapter.
So you have that distinction of maybe serving the longest term as an IFMA president?
I did serve the longest term because I was the vice president when the president had to step off, and she actually she relocated to another state. So I actually ended up serving probably 18, closer to 20 months in my term.
That's great.
Yeah, and Stuart was my vice president, so we had lots lots of fun.
It was lots of fun, and I will say that I stayed in it because you were in it.
Well, that's good, because I wouldn't let you go.
I wasn't sure, if I wanted to continue on, but we had good times together. Any other, when you think about your time with IFMA, just benefits or rewards that you had from that time?
So the best thing about being a member of IFMA and getting engaged and involved in IFMA are the people. The relationships I've made, the people I've met, and I joined IFMA back in 2003, so it's been almost 10 years that I've been involved or engaged with IFMA. The people are phenomenal, the networking, from an educational standpoint, from an overall career standpoint, it's just unbelievable group of good people.
Most definitely, I'll second that. Well, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
What was your most memorable experience with IFMA?
Well, it's hard to pick one because there are a lot of memorable experiences, but I think that what started me in IFMA is I was given the job to do an office move. And at the time I was given the job because I was the most expendable member of the staff. And so I didn't want to get expended, I wanted to stay there and have a career. And about the time that I got assigned that task, I got a letter about the National Facility Management Association and went and heard about it and just had an epiphany right there that that's what I was. I was a facility manager. And that was a time when facility management actually didn't exist. They were in the process of inventing it. And so I joined on board, joined the chapter, became involved, and helped it grow from there.
So tell us, was that your very first experience, or was there one more that you wanted to talk about?
That's what's coming to mind, so I'm sorry if I'm having a senior moment.
It's okay. Anything else that you wanted to say for us tonight?
Well, I think it's just important to remember the chapters here for education and networking, and that's what it was 30 years ago. Everybody came because they wanted to participate and learn more about facility management, and it's still that way today.
Yes, thank you so much. And Ed, how about you telling us about your most memorable experience when you were president?
I think the most memorable was the fact when I was president, I would look behind me and there was nobody there. I was the second president of the chapter, and just growing the membership, we were wondering, did we have enough money to pay for the luncheon meal? And where would we get all these people who would provide the education we wanted? The networking is the best thing about the chapter. When I started with IFMA, I knew architects, engineers, vendors, suppliers. I knew very few facility people. This told me where my peers were, and talking to them, getting to know them, getting them involved with IFMA has been the greatest thing for me.
Wonderful. And I know that you had one more experience that you wanted to tell us about tonight. What was that?
Huh?
He's got to remind us.
Are you saying Denver? Is that what you're asking about? Well,
yes.
You can tell that one better than I can.
Which one?
Denver.
Now, I heard that at some point people began to call you Mr. and Mrs. Rondo. What was that all about?
Back in the 80s, there were not many women in facility management. And so when I first started going to the meetings, everybody assumed I was Ed's wife because we were from Atlanta and we sat beside each other, and that's what they assumed because I couldn't possibly be in facility management. And so we proved them wrong because what Ed did is he went up in the organization, he took me with him and was a mentor and someone who really championed me, I felt like, through the years. So, and I think that's one of the great things about IFMA is you also find mentors and relationships with people that last for a long time and help you in your professional development.
Thank you so much. And if you'll stay here just for one moment, I've got a memento for you. This is Indiana Rondo. And now I asked Christine what she would like. She said a bullwhip. I'm not sure I understand that, but here we go.
You gave me the choice of a snake or a bull.
Okay.
The bullwhip sounded better.
So, Indiana Neldon, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Pete.
We appreciate your service.
Thank you.
Okay. What is your most memorable experience as past president?
Probably the most memorable was when we won for the first chapter award ever, which was for community service in Chicago. So that was very, very exciting.
And then what was your very first experience when you first became a member of IFMA?
Probably Harry asking me if I would become more involved, which then I became the secretary of the chapter.
Harry was a mentor for you.
Yes.
For sure.
Harry,
Yes,
so good to see you.
it's been so long.
All right, I'm going to throw you a bone. How has the chapter changed since you've been president?
Oh my God. When I came to my first meeting, it was a little disconcerting. There were about 40 people. We were in the Merchandise Mart downtown, and that's a building that's hard to get into and even harder to get out of. And we were sweating our finances. We were worried that we might not make 50 cents profit on everyone's lunch, and if we didn't, the chapter couldn't make it financially. So we've gone light years from 21 years ago.
All right, and I know you love telling funny stories. What was the funniest experience you had during your reign as president? Jean Meany, could you please listen? Jean Meany, thank you.
Oh, good, because I'm about to tell on him. Okay. My funniest experience, it was 1995, when you were in elementary school, of course. Oh, you were in middle school. Okay. Middle school. All right. It was 1995, and we were doing a GPTV telethon. Okay? Our community services program was conceived in a toilet. This is absolutely true. I was incoming president. Jean Meany out there somewhere was president. And we're on television. And a whole group of us are staffing the telephones. Okay? So the lady with GPTV goes up to Jean and she says, okay, you're with the International Facility Management Association and you're the president, right? And he said, yes. And she said, tell me, what do facility managers do? His mind goes completely blank and he goes, we clean and we fix toilets. That was it. I said, never again are we doing a GPTV telethon. We're going to do something else for community service. So the next year, when I became president, we started the community services program we have today. So it was conceived in the toilet.
Thank you.
Now, before you get out of here, I have a couple of mementos for you too. And this is a Tom Cruise muscle shirt. I know you'll enjoy that.
I always want.
And of course, I got it 2 sizes too small, so it'd be good and form-fitting. And Cheryl, you get one too.
Oh, good.
That's the female version. It's sleeveless. And the video for Mission Impossible.
Cool.
Okay.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Enjoyed it. Thanks, Cheryl. Your most memorable experience as past president?
I would have to say it was being introduced into the facility management arena. I had a wonderful lunch with one of our past presidents, Harry Ludwig, my former boss, and we're sitting down talking about who's going to be a facility manager in the nonprofit arena, and they turned around and said, it's you. And I've been doing it for about 20 years, so loving it.
Wow, you think it's going to work out? Yeah.
Until I retire.
Yeah. And your funniest experience?
Funniest. There's so many funny ones. I think it was being chapter president and coaching most of our members on how to be very quiet in a room.
Well said.
Oh.
More camp stories. I've had many of them, but I would say definitely getting a crowd quiet was probably the funniest thing. Watching people get silent with my
Okay. Got it. Okay. Thank you.
All right, Dave, what is your, get my cheat sheet, most rewarding memory while serving as IFMA president?
All right. Well, if I can have everyone's attention for just a moment, please. I know you're having a great time tonight. Thank you. Thank you. Done like no other past president could have done. I wanted to recognize a few people here tonight as one of my most rewarding experiences as an IFMA past president. And it had to do with a group of us that were following along our slogan for that year, which was Get Connected. Now, a lot of you people obviously have a lot of fun at IFMA, but I don't think many of you can hold a candle to the fun that was had back in 2002 amongst the board. And I want to raise a glass to everyone that was on the board in 2002. Please give yourselves a hand right now and make people aware that you are it. So my most rewarding experience, having spent toilless, countless hours at IFMA board meetings, working hard on behalf of the facility management organization, was to be awarded an opportunity to go to Paris, France, along with Tom Haslak, Ken Gwinner. Ken, please be recognized. Christine wasn't there. Ed Rondeau was with us. And a few others that I don't think are here tonight. Lindsay Bradshaw, a number of us went to Paris to interact with our sister chapter in Paris at World Workplace Europe. And it was very rewarding because those of you that are married and have your spouses giving you a hard time about how much time you spend at IFMA, I was able to take my wife along, so she got it at that point. So that was my most rewarding experience. Thank you for listening.
All right. How about your funniest? What's your funniest memory?
All right. I don't know. I hope not. I think so. All right. Funniest IFMA memory would be, I guess, our board retreat. Preceding our board getting together in 2002, I was convinced by a number of people, Beth Chaplin included, who's here to join us tonight, with Tom and Ken Gwinner and a number of others, that we needed to do a rafting trip down the Olympic Ocoee course in November. So this group decided that that's what we would do as our team building experience. So we had as our guide Joe Jacoby, who had won the Olympic gold in, 1992 at the Barcelona Olympics for his work with canoeing and kayaking, and he was our guide. So as we came down the river, Tom and I were placed in the front of the raft because that is where you put all the heavyweight. And the rest of the crew enjoyed taking us through the rapids, doing something called surfing, where the people in the front continually got splashed and splashed and splashed by the rapid. So as we got to the end, the final rapid was called Surprise. And as we got to Surprise, I came to the understanding of what my presidency was to be all about, which was you need to take a risk, you need to get connected, and you need to stay on board. Because Tom came shooting across the front of that raft and hit me like a cannonball, taking us both out of the raft into the water. And the only thing keeping us into the raft was I had a foothold and I had my pinky finger latched on Tom's life jacket. And we ultimately got back to the raft. And fortunately, we got Tom on board because I knew at that point, with Tom as the vice president, that nothing would get done that year if we lost Tom.
Thank you both so much. And I just have one memento, and I'm going to give you yours first because I have a couple of words to say about my mentor over here, Christy Jelitz, before she leaves. And so you know, Avatar was our theme. We have a headdress for you. I know that you're going to want to put that right on. We need that on. Yes. All right. And Christy, for you, a Avatar spear. We spare no expense for these things. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
See you all again and address you.
All right. Hey, Christy, I have to tell you, you were my mentor at IFMA. I don't know if you remember this, but I was invited to come to a focus group of brand new members here at the Atlanta Botanical Garden by Joanne Cole and you. And I came here and I said, I don't know about this IFMA thing. It's not, you know, I can't seem to sell anything. She said, well, just, you know, you don't get it yet. You don't really get it. And just hang in there and things will pay off. You told me how much you loved IFMA and how much you loved working with IFMA vendors. And that made a big impression on me. And I just want to thank you for that. We've had a great run here. And God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care.